October 28, 2023, 8 p.m. The passing of first friends Matthew Perry. Hashtag Matthew Perry. Dead. Hashtag 54. Hashtag friends. News GP7A. Now, what we did is we ran some algorithm tests and based off sources that if Matthew Perry actually died the way they say he does, and we don't bring up anything about his past for right now, and what it looks like based off artificial intelligence is that Matthew Perry was playing pickleball, and the other things he did, it was a very active day for him. And when he got home, his muscles, everything was just fatigued. He was very fatigued. And when you're a guy like that, you always have to push it at your best 100%, and that's what you're going to hear amongst all his friends, that he was up-spirited, he wasn't looking to hurt himself, and try to redirect any type of attacks by anybody that might not like him in the business. But from what I know of him, and I'm not going to say anything more about that in 1998, but 1989, right before the Friends deal. I won't mention that though. So, anyways, in 1989, I was in Hollywood, California, and anyways, that's all I'm going to say. With my ex-wife, actually, we were just getting everything together, only to disembark. So it gets me choked up because the guy was a really, really, really nice guy. And if you know him, you would have protected him at all costs because he was that nice of a guy. I believe he couldn't handle the pressure of where he got and what he did if he knew who he was before he was who he is or was. And so Matthew Perry, back in the 90s, they had in Virginia Beach, they had friends parties. Like my parents back in the 60s would have Grammy parties. That's the kind of parents I had. My mom would find out what the dress was. She'd go out, get the pattern, and then have it made by the time the show is. And she's wearing an Elizabeth Taylor dress. So my mom adopted 7 children. She was the most badass woman I have ever met in my entire life. Unfortunately, she wasn't perfect, and therefore, moms aren't perfect. But when you understand that when everything pieces together the way they said, he just went into a hot tub for anybody in good health who just might fall asleep in a hot tub. That's why you should never do a hot tub by yourself or have anything other thing that can maybe wake you up, because once you fall in underwater, it's going to be your natural instinct to inhale, and that's what they're going to find in his lungs. And nothing bad. His past might have had a little thing to do with his opioid addictions and other things that people like that go through when they're in pain. And then you get hooked on it, because when you're on that drug, it makes you feel better than how you really feel. And that's sometimes better to feel that way than the way you really feel. So they're going to find water in his lungs. They're going to back up the story and said he either fell asleep or he had a heart attack. And the heat of the hot tub made him pass out, to which he slipped in to the water and he breathed and he died. So that is what artificial intelligence is really saying that is going on with that. Now, if that's not what happened, and the conversations to where you can do even deeper algorithms to find out what a group of people you think are talking about, which in this case would be the law enforcement officers, but you don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. No matter how good you want to tell a story, It's not something until official word comes out of what happened. And if it's bad, criminal, then it's fair game. But right now, we got to honor him, his family, the Friends cast. Um, you know, sources I know, and I've come close to meeting these people back in the day, but I was on my own shtick, doing my own thing, just trying to keep up with the rock stars uh, and the lifestyle of painting millionaire homes and movie star homes. And only one I actually met was David Walper, the producer of the 1984 Olympic Games. And he had this lens that he had made. It was like $5,000, $10,000, and it's gonna shine on his Picasso collection, and it would be the exact image of the Picasso with the light shining down on it. And I have to say, when I was finally done, because in his library there was another light. The library was the most bitchin' library I've ever been in my life. Did you know that their bathrooms alone had a his and her matching dressing rooms with refrigerated stove ink, refrigerator for minks for animal pelts or coats, and his looked like you walked into a retail store to get dressed. Most awesome feeling in the entire world, overlooking UCLA. So people that know that floor plan knows I've been in that house. So there's other things that I could identify that kind of was kind of weird, but I'm not going to say that because I'm just not going to say that. It's none of my business. I'm just there to paint and make that dressing room beautiful, and that's what my job was to make that beautiful. Anyways, God, that was where you had like 4 painting companies and 25 guys running into each other, but they were paying so much and they were ripping people off, and you know how it goes, folks. I was a worker. I didn't understand. I was just an apprentice trying to go through my custom journeyman training, but I can do industrial work. I sprayed it. That's how I had some cancers, but I beat it, but they could come back. And I I just want people to know that I believe he died exactly the way he did. He overexerted himself playing pickleball, and he fell asleep with that nice jacuzzi or hot tub that he had. There was no alcohol. There was nothing like that around. He was just tired, folks. So that's gonna be no conspiracy or conspirators or the ones that may be talking about it to create a storyline like there is, because that's what they do. That's what sells magazines. But what it does on the internet is it puts them people on a different path. They're gonna be able to do whatever they want, and that's what the internet is. You're gonna do what you want, fucking say what you want, boom. Okay, some people can get it on the first page of Google, some people can't. But what's gonna happen now? You're gonna see a lot of people that are alleged influencers, and you're gonna see a lot of hosts and other people, especially those that are FCC regulated news people. Like Fox hasn't even felt its drop in authority from having to pay almost $1 billion to not have something, not to settle a court case. And that's one of the biggest awards that you can boast about. And it was all indexed. So when they sit there and beat up all these other news agencies that have a right to broadcast whatever the fuck they want, because everybody sees the color blue in a different color, different spectrum, a different level, a different angle of lighting hitting it. But it's still blue. But you can see all the different colors in that spectrum, and that's what conversation is. And see, what most people don't understand is the world around us. And when you talk about um, artificial intelligence. That's what I used to come up with the conclusion of why he passed away. Now, we could be wrong because things change. Conversations change. I'm just talking about this moment based on everything. Now, when more conversations come in, then we're able to change. But I'm not doing that. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not honoring this guy because he kicked ass. All the women loved him. I don't. I just don't think that Maddie could handle this. He could be the dude that he needed to take on all this. And now he's just sitting back watching everybody because that's what you get to do. You get to watch all at the same time everybody in your life and how they're going to react. That's amazing because it hits everybody. And see, we don't know this because no one's died and been able to see this. So when people say they're going to die and they see the light, like they're facing the light, that it wants to go to the light, um, then you get some people that maybe you're in a position to where the light's behind you, and it's dark, and it's dark, man. Welcome to the shadow of death. So those people that see light and come back to life, you were always going to come back to life because you never was really dead. But those people that had the light behind them and it was black, they flipped it around toward the light and they lived. So whenever you're in that situation, believe me, you know, no matter how sick you are, I got COVID. I passed it on to Get the Loot, and allegedly he's dead. Died right at Christmas, 2019, folks. Get the Loot. THALOOT. He did the song Get Some on the Circus of a Lifetime Vitruvian Man album. See, it's really Circus of a Lifetime's the artist, me. Vitruvian Man is in honor of Leonardo da Vinci. I am a self-declared um, I can't tell you. You'll know. And what I've done is I've created all this kind of stuff for Denver to become the most powerful city, county of Denver. But that's for another time. I lived in Los Angeles for a long time. 404, 101 freeway, and Laurel Canyon Boulevard. There used to be pink and white apartment buildings on the southeast side of 101 and Laurel Canyon Boulevard. You can't miss it. You can do a Google search on it right now. Laurel Canyon 101, you look at those apartments. I used to have parked in the back because the owners let me. I had a little Toyota truck with a 327 in it. It was jacked up like 8 inches. It had big 38.5 Monster motor tires on it. And it was fast. But that's for another story. But I remember one time Ray O'Ray tried to pick up on my wife when she was walking the dog. And I wasn't very far behind her because I knew, and she knew too. If you've seen her now, we're best friends, man. She's the most awesome chick in the world. We just happen to be two Geminis, and we had no business being together, but we sure love each other. And she's come to my rescue many times because she knows. And many people tried to disillusion her when we broke up, but she knows. And that's why when you're older, you have to hold on to people that you've had relationships with. At least one has to vouch for you, but when they all hate you, you pick the wrong people to hang around with. My parents used to tell me, don't judge people on how they treat don't judge people on how they treat you. Judge them on how they treat other people, and if you're still around, you're going to get it worse than all of them put together. And that's the trail I leave behind in my life. And that's okay because I pity them poor people because they don't have a grip on their own realities. They're going to go and make up shit and take things and do things against other people that were really good people to them, would do anything. You know, those people that would, like, see, when people want something, they call someone else. When people need something, they call me or people like me. And there's a lot of people like me. But unfortunately, what happens is you get those trolls, those sheep in those wolves in sheep's clothing. And they come and they act like they need something. And then when you give it to them, they want something else. They need, and they want something else. And then finally you realize that they never needed, they just wanted. And when you break away from them, these people know at that point, because they don't realize they've done this to people their whole lives, but at this point where their minds are, um, they go after you. They'll get everybody they want to go against you, and then they fool the police because, like, if they're good looking, especially like the police that help the damsels in distress, and these are policemen that would never ever get a girl that would talk to them anywhere in their real lives. So they're gonna become the Superman. Oh, I'll get him, baby. I'll take care of you. I got you, baby. I heard him talking to. Hey, dumbass, I'm right here. So these are the things that I learned in California and the people that I knew, and I never popped names. I just didn't do that. I drove my little maroon 1967 Corvette with that luggage rack, and uh, I was bitching. And then I think I came back and I had a 1980 Corvette. Um, anyways, I don't remember a lot of things because cars don't mean nothing. I just like driving fast. You want to know something guilty about me is I drive fast. I don't drive fast when there's a lot of people around. Okay, so when I drive fast and I see a bunch of cars up there, I slow down. I go the speed limit. And I pass them when I need to pass them, and then I'm back on speed. And one of the times I was on a motorcycle, I was doing about 180, and a deer jumped out in front of me, and or better yet, I hit a rock, or I've done so many things that I was able to thank God that I was paying attention. And when you hit something like that, everything you have to slow everything down. You got to ride. If that bike starts to roll a certain direction, and you can't pull out of it, you got to ride it like a surfboard. So while the thing's flowing down, you're doing shit like they do in Tom Cruise movies, where they're jumping on a car and doing all that. I've done that shit in real life, keeping myself from getting completely smacked. So I ain't too stoning anywhere on an asphalt place, folks. And neither should you. And so driving fast and high, and where there's a lot of people to show up, you're just asking to die. And that's the thrill of some of these cats. They don't think about dying. They don't think they are so in tune. They've been looking at the traffic a mile back to even get to where they're at now. And that one pump of a brake could fuck everything up because you're going, like, I've seen guys go through Denver 140 to 180 miles an hour just full. Bam! And I'm like, wow, look at all these cars, and they're just going in and out. You've seen them. So, anyways, I don't mean to wrap up into things. I'm just here to tell everybody to wake up. Things aren't as they seem. We are in a simulated state, and Matthew Perry is actually in a better place than most of us are right now. And we need people to stand up for us more than ever. And we need people to make sure that nobody destroys this man's goodwill and good intention, and whatever he did to himself is his business and none of our fucking business. And don't use him as a tool so that you can get other people that do that feel sorry so you can get their money and all. See all this stuff, folks? Artificial intelligence, that Black Sabbath song, Dehumanizer. We're watching people dehumanize the office of the President of the United States, dehumanize one of the greatest presidents, whether we like it or not. I did the algorithms, and Donald Trump was the man, a billionaire guy that kicked some ass and was been battling and battling the haters that don't like what he's done. And now that Pandora box is open widely. And all the Democrats and all the people, when it comes and it's in front of you, the album's called Social Gulag, But when it happens, you better have everything straight. That's all I know. And that's why all this conversation means something to those that are paying attention. And that Matthew Perry or Chandler Bing. Did you know Bing? The cats over there at Microsoft, when you think about NBC and all that, they love Chandler. They love that character Bing, and that's what some people say where that name really came from. But I don't know. What do I know? It makes sense to me because Chandler was badass. He had it down. The writers of that show were unbelievable. They were just, and I watched it in the '90s, but I was trying to go do things if it wasn't for me. And a song we wrote, "Coming Home," coming off this next album for Durango Dank. We put Circus of a Lifetime on hold because my rapper died, and I gave him COVID, and I was the only one that had it, so I might have gave a lot of people COVID. And I could tell you what happened on the day 10. I could tell you where I was, Miami. I can tell you where I was, International Airport. And I could tell you the three people that gave it to me, or the one person that gave it to me that was walking with two women that were wearing masks on their face. And he sneezed and he was coughing. I see him and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? And he gets right 15, 20 feet and he fucking blasts. And I felt his spray go all over me. And I remember turning around and going, dumbass, you just infected me. No, they didn't say nothing. Sorry, nothing. And now those words came back and haunted my ass to where I saw that light behind me. I was about to die. There was no light in front of me. That's because I already went through that light and now it's behind me and I'm about to die. And I remember when I gasped, I remember how bright it got and where I came back and where I was and who came down the stairs running after me, screaming, Papa, Papa. What was that noise? It scared me. That was my daughter. Better than her coming down seeing me dead, right? So I feel sorry for Chandler, man. Um, man, he was badass, guys. If you only knew him, uh, but when you get big like that, you don't remember all the people you remember getting you or talking to you or helping you. But let me tell you, in the '80s, I helped a lot of fucking stars that were flung out on drugs. I was their Uber driver. All they remember is some dude with long hair that looked like kind of like Rudy Sarzo but better looking. That's what I was told. Gave me a ride home. Everybody thought I was Rudy Sarzo. And then I'd turn around and fuck, you ain't Rudy. Who the fuck are you? When I used to eat at Rainbow Bar and Grill, I'd pull up in my Corvette. And see, I wasn't a broke dick musician, and maybe I should have been, and I could have had a girl to support me and take care of me. They asked me, "Oh, you can live with me. I'll take care of you. You're gonna be a rock star." I'm like, what? I'm married. And I remember my bass player once told me when I got married, he came up to me, "Congratulations, your music career is over." And he walked away. And so, it's not over. It just took a different direction. It just something that I do not for the money, not for the fame, just for me to let out energy and sing about things that have happened to me or that's happening to other people. And when I talk politics, I just talk about all the conversations I had with everybody that's been indexed for the last 10 years, and then media and all them that have been fooling everybody with all their fake bullshit fucking content. They're all about to get double whacked, and the artificial intelligence is going to take them down a dark web fantasy that they've never witnessed before because they are not for the betterment of mankind. They are not the betterment of the IoT. They are trolls of the dark web. And so the artificial intelligence, in order for virtual machines that have learning capability has to create multiple layers and 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 layers of verified content on everybody's digital content that they make that is now identified by their voice latent prints. And now they can take these voice latent prints, which are called MP3 files, audio MP3 files, and they can go into the cloud with the right subpoena, and you got the right people that knows how to do this like I do. And there's other people because that's how I learned it. And see, when you got people that are talking about wanting to change the world, but all they do is talk and spin wheels and spin wheels, and then they get reelected and they go off and do something else, and the city's left with the same bullshit. Those days are over. They're fucking over, folks. In order for Google or YouTube or anybody to do the right thing, we have to start talking the right thing. Because it's our talk that leads us to the promised land. And I don't know about you folks, but our kids need an opportunity to live better than we did. And all we are is in war. We're getting stretched. Our gonads are getting stretched from all over. And there's going to be some military strikes that are going to be going on between China and Taiwan or something. I'm not sure. I'm reading some chatter. And instead of us all getting together and getting Russia and China and all these other countries to explore the oceans and discover shit that we've never yet don't even know what's under the ocean, and there's a reason, folks. And the other reason, when you think about the sixth extinction that's before all of us, okay? So the people that are dying now, they're the ones that are saved. They're the ones that are getting plucked. Some people are going to have to live through it, all the way through it. I'm one of them. And so there's going to be a lot of people who are going to live through it because they have to. Because it's going to be that will to survive is what's going to help create new neighborhoods and new beginnings. But if it hits the sixth extinction, it won't matter because there'll be nobody around. And if you think that us being responsible for every living creature on this earth to live, okay, and if you think that that we aren't going to be held accountable for killing all, thou shalt not kill, folks, all the living animals at one time, extinction. You don't think there's a God waiting? Because he gave us all free will to do this, folks. And everybody prays to God and wants to get things going, especially that Joel Osteen. That guy's fucking a troll. He lives in a $10 million house, and there's people in his neighborhood that kids don't even have shoes. But he's Joel Osteen because he's seen the Lord, and he's seen the way. He asked God one time, God, why am I so perfect? Why am I the ones going to lead these people to the banks to give me the money so that me and my family can live in a $10 million home? Glory be to God. Oh, God, there is a God. Look at these people giving me this money. Folks, come on, man. If Jesus was here, he'd be the first one getting his fucking ass whooped by Jesus. Come on, man. Let's be honest. Anyways, this one's for fucking Maddie.